Hey guys, it's Victoria and I'm here to do Lydia's 2-month update. So she is 2 months and 4 days old today. I almost said pregnant. I'm used to saying how many weeks pregnant I am. So 2 months and 4 days old, or 9 weeks. She's 9 weeks today. And I held off a few days to do her update just because we were going to the doctor today. So that way I would know her weight and height and all of that stuff. So I've got some notes here. So I guess I'll start out talking about sort of her eating, sleeping, and schedule, routine. Not that we really have one at this point, but sort of where we are when it comes to that. So we are 100% bottle feeding formula at this point. And I'll probably link some videos below about breastfeeding, and I'll link her 1-month update and stuff like that too. But if you've watched my past videos, you know that we had decided to switch over. So she's now completely on formula, and I am 99% happy with that decision. There's, you know, occasionally times where I'm kind of sad that I'm most likely done breastfeeding forever. I don't imagine we're going to have any more, not 100%, but mostly we're really happy with the decision, and the switch has gone really well. So yeah, I'll link the videos below about why we made that transition. And I did pump for probably a couple weeks into her 2nd month and just put that in bottles with formula, and then slowly weaned off the pumping, and that went really well. I pumped like several times a day at first, and then gradually cut out 1 pumping session and then cut back the quantity that I pumped. And then when I finally stopped, I had no engorgement or anything, which was really nice. It worked out really well to do it that way. So she has about 5 or 6 bottles a day, usually about 5 ounces. Sometimes she doesn't take it all. Sometimes she seems really hungry after, and I'll make her another couple of ounces. I'll probably up the bottles to 6 ounces soon, just because I know there's a calculation that's like the baby's weight times 2.5 is how much they should get in a day, like in 24 hours. So you divide that by how many bottles they have. And most days now she's only having about 5, so I think I should probably up the quantity of formula a little bit, keeping in mind that she might not take it all. And again, sometimes she might want more. Plus it's easier to make even numbers of formula, like 6 ounces or 4 ounces. So she usually gets up anywhere between 7 and 8 most mornings. If she gets up anytime before 7, I put her back in bed after, because I don't consider that to be morning yet. Anytime after 7, I get her up for the day and get her dressed. So when she's up, I feed her, and she's usually awake for about an hour and a half, including the feeding time. And then she starts to get fussy, and I'll put her down for a nap. And sometimes she'll fall asleep. Like the other day, I laid her on the couch to go let the dog out, and literally, I mean, it was 30 seconds or less. I turned around and she was asleep. So I put her in her crib at that point. She usually has a pretty good nap at that point if we're home. She'll sleep for anywhere from an hour to 2 hours, and then she'll get up and have a bottle. And then in the afternoon, I find it's a little more hit and miss. Sometimes we'll get her down for a good nap. A lot of days it's sort of a cat nap here, cat nap there, a nap on my chest in the swing. Depending on the day too, if we're out in the morning and she doesn't get as good of a nap, then she tends to nap better in the afternoon. So it's sort of all over the place at this point. I am trying to follow something called the easy approach, I guess. It's not something I'd heard of before, but it is what we sort of did in the past. And it's the easy stands for eat, awake, sleep, and you. So the you is for you time when they're sleeping. And I guess we sort of did this without even knowing it in the past, but it's the way I look at it, it's basically feeding them after they wake up and not before they go to sleep. And that's how things have always worked out for us. And it's worked out well so that we're not feeding them to sleep. So it's not something that they rely on to go to sleep. And it just sort of worked well for us. I mean, she wakes up in the morning and she's hungry, so she eats. And then the next time she gets fussy, rather than feeding her again before her nap, you just put her down for a nap. And we're very, very lucky that she goes down without feeding. And at night, she is sleeping through the night. We put her down anywhere between oh, 7, 8, 8:30, somewhere in there. And she will sleep through to anywhere between about 6, 7, 8, anywhere in there. So we're getting, close to 12 hours a night, which is fantastic and amazing. And it's, she's just the best baby. So we're really, really lucky in that sense. And I will say that I think that the way we sort of handle bedtime contributes to that. We've had like a routine, a bedtime routine from day one. I know with my son, I would try to keep him up later and then feed him as late as possible in the hopes that he would sleep longer. And just looking back at his baby book, he was still getting up every 3 hours or so till he was about 3 or 4 months, I guess. And I think putting the baby to bed earlier actually helps her sleep longer. I don't know, it might just be her, I don't know if there's anything to that, but it seems to be working for us. She's been in her crib since day one, so her crib is for sleep time. We bath her before bed every night. I think she's maybe missed 2 or 3 nights since she was born, just because the way I look at it, that sort of cues them that this is nighttime. It helps tire her out. It helps keep her awake for an extra 20 minutes to half an hour between, getting her ready for the tub, in the tub, and dressed after, which just keeps her up, a little bit longer. So we do that every night. Then I feed her last bottle in her room. All of those things, I think, contribute to her being a good sleeper. Again, who knows? We may just be lucky that she's a really good sleeper, and it may be partly because of, the way we sort of approached it. Who knows? But we're really lucky either way. She's having a lot more awake time. She's usually awake for anywhere from an hour to 2 before she wants to eat or sleep again. She's super alert. She follows you. She watches. She turns to voices. She just stares at her brother and sister, which is so sweet. She's smiling all the time. She's starting to coo and make little noises. I think she's close to laughing because there's been a couple times where she's in a full out smile and she'll make just sort of one little noise. It sounds like the start of a laugh. So I think we're getting close to a little bit of a giggle, which is awesome. She's wearing 0 to 3 month clothing mostly, but she's like within days of being out of that into 6 months. The sleeper she's wearing right now is 6 months. And she's not super huge, but she's just like busting out of the 3 month clothes. So I'm going to be packing some more of that stuff away. I've already got a huge diaper box full of clothes that are too small for her. We had eye drops for her. I'm not sure if I mentioned that in the last video or not, but she had a blocked tear duct and it wasn't clearing up, and then it started to get a little bit yellow and it was pretty crusty. So the doctor gave us eye drops for that, and we probably used those for about 3 weeks. 2 or 3 weeks, and it's completely cleared up now. She is starting to like her play mat a lot more, and her swing and her bouncy chair. I'm funny where I know a lot of people use the swing all the time and absolutely love the swing. Ours is actually right here. So it's a Fisher-Price My Little Lamb cradle and swing. I've had it for all 3 kids. And I guess it's just because I prefer the children to nap in their crib, so that I don't use it for sleeping very much. So I tend to only use it when she's awake, but then it starts to put her to sleep, so that I end up taking her out of it. I know I use it more when they get older and you can put the tray over it and toys and little snacks and stuff and everything in it. But it is a really cute swing. And her vibrating chair, she really likes that. When we put her in her car seat, she is usually very unhappy until we get in the car, and by the time I'm down the end of the driveway, she's completely quiet and happy. So she likes it when we're moving. She doesn't like sitting still in the car seat. We've been getting outside quite a bit. The weather is kind of turning. I say it's starting to get nice, but we had snow and freezing rain today. Ridiculous. It's, middle of April. Although we had a bad snowstorm April or Easter weekend last year, and Easter was later in April, and we went away and we left in a snowstorm. So we're not out of the woods yet, but it's been nice to get outside. Yesterday, actually, I was very proud of myself. I took all 3 kids and the dog for a walk, not a long walk, just like the end of our street and back. I wore Lydia in the Becco carrier, and then I put Alexandria in our small umbrella stroller, and Noah went on his bike. The hardest part was managing the dog. If it was just us, it would have been great. We could have gone further, but we have a big golden retriever, and he's sometimes hard to handle, so I retracted his leash as much as I could and clipped it on the stroller so I didn't have to hold him. But I had to be very careful to hold the stroller the whole time because he's strong, and if he wanted to he would never take off, but if he wanted to go to a snowbank or something, he could have pulled the stroller over completely. So I had to be careful of that. But overall, he was pretty good. So she had her 2-month appointment today, and it went well, except my doctor's office is usually running behind, and the appointments usually take a long time. I was there for about 2 hours, which is, crazy. And I almost brought Alexandria too, so thank God I didn't, because that would have been, I don't know, maybe they would have seen us faster if I had both of them. But my parents stayed with, my mom stayed with her, my dad took Noah skating, and I was with Lydia, so we were, divide and conquer. So the nurse took me in pretty much right away and got her weighed and measured. So she is 12.2 pounds. So she was 8'2" at birth, so she's up 4 pounds. And she's a 70-something percentile for weight. She is 23.8 inches, and she was 21 inches at birth, so she's almost up 3 inches, which was about the 50th percentile. And I didn't write down her head circumference, but I know it was in the 60-something percentile. So she's between 50 and 75% for all of her measurements, which was really good. She had 3 needles. I thought it was only 2, but I guess they do three here. I couldn't remember from the other 2. And, she screamed, of course, but she was fine within 30 seconds of having them. And I fed her a bottle right after, and that calmed her down. She seemed pretty good after. She definitely slept more than usual. We went to my parents after for the afternoon, and she slept on their bed for a while, and then I fed her, and she took a whole bottle, 5 ounces, and seemed still hungry, so I gave her another 2, and then she fell asleep again for probably close to a couple of hours. And when she was awake, she was like crying really hard, and harder than she normally, like wasn't just fussy, like she was really crying. So I don't know if she was not feeling good, or I'm assuming her legs are probably sore. I don't know if you're like me. When I get my flu shot, my arm hurts for like 3 days, like somebody punched me, or like a really bad bruise. So I was trying to be really careful moving her legs and stuff. But once we got home at supper time, she was really happy for an hour or more and smiling and laughing. And then I got her bathed and fed, and she's asleep. So hopefully she feels okay over the night. She didn't have any fever or anything like that. So that was basically it for the appointment. So I think that's everything I have to update. She is an amazing little baby, and we are all doing really good. The kids just love her to death, and I can't believe she's already 2 months old. This is just like flying by. I think every baby things go a little bit faster. So I'll end the vlog here, but I'm going to do a postpartum update about me, which should be quick, and I'll link that below once I get that done. So yeah, if you guys have any questions about Lydia, ask them below, and I will come back and update when she is 3 months. Thanks for watching.